The land of Israel is central to Judaism. Every Jew has a portion in the Holy Land. We read in this week's Torah portion how two tribes, Reuven and Gad, requested to settle outside of the Holy Land, on the eastern side of the Jordan River. They had an abundance of livestock, and the land of Yazer and Gilad was perfect for their livestock. They approach Moshe with their request, and initially Moshe thinks that they are scared and rebukes them for following in the ways of the spies. They reply to Moshe that he misunderstood them. They are just looking for a place for their livestock and families to settle. All the capable men will go along with the rest of the Jewish people to conquer the land of Canaan. Only after it has been conquered, divided, and settled will the men return to the eastern side of the Jordan River to live. In Numbers chapter 32, verse 16, they approached him and they said, "We will build sheepfolds for our livestock here and cities for our children. We will then arm ourselves quickly and go before the children of Israel until we have brought them to their place. Our children will reside in the fortified cities on account of the inhabitants of the land. We shall not return to our homes until each of the children of Israel has taken possession of his inheritance." After hearing this, Moshe makes a deal with them and allows them to settle on the eastern side of the Jordan. Half of the tribe of Manasseh also settles there with them. When reading the conversation between the two tribes and Moshe, we find something very disturbing. And that is that from the verse it is clear that these two tribes cared more about their money than their families. Listen again to what they said. Vayikshu elav vayomru, Gidros tzon nivna lemiknenu po ve'orim letapenu. They approached him and they said, "We will build sheepfolds for our livestock here and cities for our children." Their first concern is their livestock. Only after that comes the children. Moshe picks up on this and changes it around. He tells them, this isn't our value system. In verse 24, when he makes a deal with them, he says, "So build yourselves cities for your children and enclosures for your sheep," highlighting first the children and only then the livestock. When reading this Torah portion, we must ask ourselves, how are we doing in this regard? Do we chase career, prestige, and fame at the expense of family creation and family bonding? On June 3rd, 2015, David Horsey wrote an opinion in the LA Times titled, "American Work Obsession Outweighs Family Values." In it he writes, "And speaking of families, we give endless lip service to family values. But in most workplaces, families are not valued. Young women who are thinking about having children keep it a secret at work for fear that bosses and coworkers will brand them as slackers." End of quote. The reason this is in the Torah is because it's relevant. God knows we may be weak in this area. He knows for some of us this is obvious, but for others it's a real struggle. Reuven and Gad apparently had this issue, but Moshe taught them appropriate Jewish values. Treat the fundamental as fundamental, and the matter of secondary importance as a matter of secondary importance, said Moshe. Sons and daughters come first, wealth and possessions secondary. An important nugget to keep in mind is, why are we working in the first place? Why do we need wealth? I go to work to earn money so I can support my family and we can enjoy together in love, enabling us to fulfill our purpose by properly serving Hashem without worry. It was always nothing more than a means to an end. With this foundation, when we are faced with a dilemma of which to sacrifice, money or family, the answer will be an easier one. This Shabbos, we conclude the book of Bamidbar, as well as we bless the upcoming new month of Menachem Av. It's Shabbos Chazak and Shabbos Mevorchem. It is therefore a Shabbos of strength and a Shabbos of special blessing. May Hashem bless us all with a Chazak v'nischazek. May we experience the ultimate consolation of these sad days being transformed to days of joy and happiness with the third Beis Hamikdash speedily in our days.